Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis on my YouTube channel. Welcome back. Yes, it's the second part of my World Cup quiz. And today I will be giving you the answers along with the questions. So I want to give you time to get a pen and paper handy so you can tick the answers if you got them right or not. I've also posted up on my community post board on YouTube the regulations and group rules for this. Group rules. I mean the quiz rules. I've got a little list, not a big one. It only take you a couple of seconds to read it. It's not really much. It's just basically telling you how much the points are, what you get for 2 point questions. Also rating you, saying that like as a bit of humour. If you get zero, you get the early bath, you get the red card, or you'll be there at the start. That sort of silliness. But anyway, it's just a bit of fun. Also, just to let you know, just to remind you, I've already posted up Group L with the vote for the voting poll, so your chance to vote on who you think will win that group, which is England or Ghana or Croatia or Panama. Anyway, so that's up there right now. So let's get on with it. I take it you've got your pen and paper handy. Great, let's begin. This is my second part of the World Cup quiz, and the first question will be now. Question 1. Who won the first World Cup in 1930? The answer was Uruguay. They beat Argentina 4-2. Right, question 2. When was the first time extra time was used in the World Cup final? I'll say that again in case you didn't get that. When was the first time extra time was used in the World Cup final? The answer was in 1934 when Italy beat Czechoslovakia 2-1. Full time it was a 1-1 draw before Angelo Schiavone scored the winner in the 95th minute to win Italy their first World Cup. Right, you ready? Question 3. When did Scotland make their World Cup debut? The answer was in 1974. Amazingly, Scotland missed out to Brazil on goal difference by 1 goal. Brazil had 3 goals and Scotland had 2. They were so unlucky. They just didn't get the results they needed. They needed to win and they would have been in the semi-finals of the 74 World Cup. They had a hell of a team. Dalglish, Jordan and many others. Familiar names that played in the English Football League at the time and Scotland. But they had a great team. And I think that could have been a team that could have caused a real sensation in World Cup 74. But anyway, Scotland have never been beyond the group stage. But this time I mentioned it in my World Cup countdown that they would do it. Anyway, I don't want to waffle on anymore. That's the answer. Right, moving on. Question 4. This is a 2-part question, so you'll get 3 points for this one. Which famous Dutch footballer who played in the World Cup final for Holland and also his son played for Manchester United in the 90s? The answer is Johan Cruyff and his son Jordi Cruyff. Okay, you get 3 points for that. Question 5 is also a 2-part question. Who knocked out England as the defending world champions back in 1970 at the quarter-final stage? And can you name all the scorers of that match? That's question B, part B. Right, so let's start off. West Germany beat England when England were the champions of the world in 1970. They were defending it. They got to the quarterfinals, but sadly, West Germany beat them 4-2. A bad management decision to take Bobby Charlton off and replace him. I forgot who he replaced him with, but Bobby Charlton's role was to mark Franz Beckenbauer at the game. And once Charlton went off, Beckenbauer was free to move around, and then the damage was done. And they had a prolific scorer in Gerd Muller, and very, very risky, and it turned out to be that. I think we were 2-0 up as well, and the Germans came at us to win 4-2. Anyway, and the goal scorers for England were Alan Mullery and Martin Peters. And for Germany, we had Franz Beckenbauer, as I was saying, Wieseler and Gerd Müller. Right, question 6. Who was the oldest player in history at the age of 40 to lift the World Cup as captain in 1982? The answer was goalkeeper Dino Zoff. He was also captain of Italy at that time. So he was the oldest player, and to date he still is. Right, moving on. Question 7. True or false? In 1909 and 1911, British representative West Auckland Town won the first 2 World Cups. Is it true or is it false? The answer is it's true. In 1909, the Football Association, whatever it was, whatever form it took, international, whatever, decided to get together from England, France or Switzerland at the time and represent the what they call their World Cup with the first of their teams, you know, the sort of local teams representing the country. That's how it worked. So Britain had West Auckland Town because none of the other clubs wanted to take part in it. They just thought it wasn't feasible to play it, you know, because they're playing the Football League, and at the time Football League was more important. But obviously the World Cup got bigger and bigger, and the more every year from every World Cup from 1930 got bigger and bigger. So that soon became a fantasy that it wasn't going to amount to much. But anyway, getting back to the point, yes, amazingly, West Auckland Town was a Northern League club. That's non-league, and they represented Britain. They beat. Let's see. Oh yeah, in the semi-finals they beat FC Fur, FC Winterthur of Switzerland. They beat Stuttgart. They beat Stuttgart in the semi-finals, and then they went on to beat the Swiss side, FC Winterthur of Switzerland, in the final. And it was played at Turin in Italy. And 2 years later, they defended the trophy by sensationally beating the Italian giants, Juventus, 6-1. Would you believe that? A non-league side beating Italian giants 6-1. The trophy was called the Thomas Lipton Trophy. So there you see, it was a forerunner for what was to become the World Cup in about just under 20 years' time. Okay then. So that's the question. It is true that. Amazingly, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. Question 8. Name me the 2 players who won World Cup medals for Argentina in 1978 and also went on to win an FA Cup winners' medal with a British team. The team that's in question is Tottenham Hotspur. The players are Osvaldo Ardiles and Ricardo Villa. We all know about Ricardo Villa. Remember the 1981 FA Cup final in the replay when Ricardo Villa went round all the defenders and scored that terrific goal? That's him. He had a beard, of course, but he was a real prolific player with the ball. And Osvaldo Ardiles as well. And they combined it to help Tottenham win the FA Cup and win it the next season as well. And they won. They also went on into Europe and won the UEFA Cup in 1984. Right, moving on. That's question 8. I'll try and be a little bit quicker here because we're running time late. Which team in the history of the World Cup scored 10 goals in one of the group games? I'll repeat that. Which team in the history of the World Cup scored 10 goals in one of the group games? The answer is Hungary back in 1982 in Group C. They beat El Salvador 10-1, and to date no world team has ever scored that amount of goals in a World Cup. You can check the details, but it's true. El Salvador was the team that lost 10-1. I couldn't believe it. I was watching it on telly as well. The goals that went in, it was amazing. So anyway, that is the answer to that. Question 10. Which was the last British player to win a Golden Boot award at the World Cup? The answer was Harry Kane, 6 goals in 2018 World Cup. Question 11. Which teams have scored the most goals in World Cup from 1930 to 2022? The answer is Brazil and Germany. Brazil has scored 237 goals and Germany to date has scored 232 goals. Right, question 12. In England's 1966 winning team, which player scored the most goals? I'll say that again. In England's 1966 winning team, which player scored the most goals for, in England's World Cup winning year, 1966? The answer is Geoff Hurst. He scored 4 goals, 1 in the quarter-final and 3 in the final. Right, we're coming towards the end of this. Yes, here we go. Question 13, unlucky for some. Which England player scored by a volley past the Belgian goalkeeper with seconds to go in the 1990 last 16 knockout stage? The answer was David Platt, then of Aston Villa, and he was obviously transferred into Italy, where he played for Bari, Juventus, Sampdoria, and he returned to England to play for Arsenal. But anyway, that dramatic few seconds to go, I think it was going to go to penalty shootout. That's when we had Gascoigne, Lineker and all the other players playing there. And David Platt latched on to a free kick outside the area, or it was a cross, and he turned on it on a volley and bang, it went in the net. Amazing stuff it was. Amazing. So that put us into the quarterfinals where we faced Cameroon, and we were in danger of going out of that. Lineker's 2 penalties saved us from embarrassment. And then we went on to win 3-2 that match. And eventually, we lost to West Germany in a penalty shootout. How predictable. Right, okay then. Question 14. Which team from these 4 teams defeated the then host nation, Spain, back in 1982? I'll name you 4 of these teams. Was it England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland? The answer was Northern Ireland. It was scored by Watford's Gerry Armstrong. Right, question 15. When was the last time host nation Mexico staged the World Cup? You might make the mistake of saying 1970, but it wasn't. It was 1986. Okay, 1986. Right, question 16. When was the last time a penalty shootout decided the World Cup final? When was the last time a penalty shootout decided the World Cup final? And the answer is 1994. Brazil beat Italy on a penalty shootout. And remember, Baggio missed the vital kick and Brazil had won the World Cup. Right, question 17. When was the last time England beat Argentina in the World Cup tournament? It was in 2002, David Beckham penalty. Amazing. Right, question 18. In the World Cup of 1994, which famous singer opened proceedings for the World Cup, took a penalty and missed? These are the 4 options. Whitney Houston, Barbra Streisand, Diana Ross or Mariah Carey. The answer is Diana Ross. Right, finally, down to the last 2. Question 19. Which player scored a hat-trick against Brazil in 1982 World Cup final? The answer was Paulo Rossi. And finally, question 20. How many World Cup have there been since 1930? That's what I meant. I didn't mean to say finals or tournaments. It's a different ball game when you start adding other things in. But no, it's how many World Cup matches. No, I've done it again. How many World Cups have there been since 1930? And the answer is 22. Right, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that disastrous quiz, questions and answers. But it's all for fun, and I'm sure I entertained you the same way. Right, I'll be back later because it's the big one. I'm now going to be doing what I call on my show World Cup 26 YouTube channel. It's going to have everything from the actual World Cup final score. I'm bringing that back. Also, look at the actual match on Sports Reports. Also, I'm going to be looking at the group tables, not forgetting tomorrow's matches as well. And also, I'm going to be adding a quiz question section, one question. There's also others, I'll be adding sports news and other news, and also I'll be adding the weather. So anyway, something new. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you later on for everything that is football in my channel. Don't miss it. Thank you for joining me. I hope this has been fun. Maybe not for you, but for me. And I'll see you very shortly. Bye for now.